Ah, okay. So that is that thing. So well, this sucks. All right. All right. Ah, and then what do we have here? All right. All right, don't mind me. I am just reading my schedule right now for this next coming week. It's not. Ooh. Cool. Ah, okay. That's gonna be super nice, actually, if that actually goes through. Okay, okay, okay. Uh, we're just gonna wait a bit longer for people to come in because this stream was delayed. Was not my intention to, but just had to get some things done. Oh yeah, and then also open up this. Okay. Oh, and that. Why does it not open up automatically for me? Don't think I missed anything, but still. I'm gonna get used. Nope. No, thank you. I do not want Crunchyroll. That is funny. All right. I'm all right. I think I am just good to start then. Give it like 2 more minutes, I guess. Just double checking everything. I'm trying to figure out what I'm reading right now. What the actual... Alright, I'm good to start then, probably. Yeah, no, I can start. Perfect. Alright. So, close menu, start. The call of leadership. Leadership. Live, laugh, bake. Let's do... Let's see, that's the de-esser. That should be the equalizer. Yep. That is the compressor. And then that is that. Okay. It's a beautiful moonlit night in Alternia. Sky is clear, a cool breeze is blowing, and even the unbearable screeching of the steel-throated bat crickets sound a little sweeter than usual. And yet... a moment of panic hangs in the air. Dave, are you okay? Hey. Oh god. What has she done? Dave? Please tell me that's just grub sauce. Please just be grub sauce. Please just be grub sauce. Please just be grub sauce. Car Cat, stop being so melodramatic. It wasn't even me who did it. Okay, fine, it was my fault. I admit it. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, Car Cat, it's no biggie. I mean, this is obviously the shittiest situation I could possibly be in right now. And like, my lawyers being touched don't even think that they won't. But also, it is literally fucking grub sauce. So like, chill for 2 seconds, okay? Okay. Oh, thank God. Like, I know the idea of me having to swap out my soiled ketchup encrusted pants is getting you all hot and bothered under the sweater, but damn. This is a picnic, dude. There are children present. And just like that, everything's alright. You have single-handedly revolutionized the art of picnicking on Alternia. You've got a huge checkered blanket, a car-sized wicker hamper, an unholy quantity of food in Tupperware containers, a lively crowd of your best and most recently acquired friends, everything one could possibly need. Shit's quaint as all fuck out here. So how many tentacles would you say she has, roughly? Let me see. It's okay, take your time. My interest is, purely scientific. Yes, precisely. Thank you, Kanaya. This is part of my studies in the field of cryptozoology. It's hardly an exact science, but you can help us make it exacter. Well, that's the problem. I don't really think there is a definite answer. She just has so many. Fascinating. Everyone seems to be having a really good time. You're a pretty good picnic host, if you do say so yourself. You let yourself lie back in the blanket and relax. Nepeta, can you pass me one of those beautiful green pies, please? Oh, sure. Let me just... It's okay. I got this. Sorry. I'm so glad you're helpful, my guy. My dude. My broski. Dude. Step off, Lamau. She didn't ask for your help. Everyone's getting along so well. Well, I didn't ask for your opinion or the mid-blood human female wanted my help or not. Oh my god, did you just seriously call her that? What is wrong with you? Guys. Humans don't have different blood colors, you useless tool. Simply enjoying one another's company. Alright, that does it. I've had enough of this wishy-washy lawn meal nonsense, and I've had enough of you. Oh, thanks, Nepeta. No problem. Yeah, no, this is them just bonding. Yep, eat shit and die. Why don't you make me? It'd be my pleasure. What's going on? What? Oh no, dear God. No, not now. This is a disaster. You gotta find some way to stop this before everything you worked for collapses under the weight of pointless shitty boy drama. You don't have a moment to lose. What's better than this? Guys being allies. Oh, hi there, Gamzee. Don't mind you. You're just trying to stop a picnic emergency. Hey, hold on, sister. Let's not be hasty. Right now, we're witnessing the birth of the greatest and, dare I say, most righteous miracle of them all. Gender motherfucking equality. What? And just like that, everything breaks apart. You wake up alone. It's a cold, dark night in Alternia. The sky is overcast, a harsh wind is blowing, and the only other sound to be heard is your own breathing. Panicked, shaky, curl up a little tighter in your puddle of blankets in the corner. Try to think back to the wonderful dream you were having, and now it all seems ruined. You're only trying to take a short rest from fomenting revolutionary sentiment among your peers, fixing all their problems. which, as it turns out, is a full-time job. You just want to indulge your imagination for a while and skip to the part where everyone's happy already. There's something wrong with that, right? It all seems so real, so full of potential. Like you could get there in an instant if only you tried a little harder. But now it hits you like a cold, wet circus pie filled with cement. Your dream of hope was nothing more than that. For no basis in reality or accurate characterization, some things are simply too good to be true. And your subconscious clearly knew that all along. It hurts. And you don't know whether to laugh, cry, or just get really, really angry about it. You made some wonderful friends over the last few weeks, months. It's been such a hectic whirlwind of nonstop amicability, you're not even sure how long you've been going. You've achieved so much on your quest, you know that for a fact. But now, looking around this empty room, filled with the ghost of memories from a lifetime ago, you can't help but feel despondent. Maybe there are some things you won't ever be able to fix. Man, this blows. For some reason, your thoughts turn to John. He was conspicuously absent from your dream. It feels like you haven't seen him for ages. You miss him. While really thinking about it, you pick yourself up. You've had enough of this horrible planet for now. Your friends here will be alright without you for a while. You tell yourself that a few times just to make sure you believe it. And then, zap! You materialize in a pleasantly familiar suburban neighborhood, sitting in front of a pleasantly familiar house. It must be late fall by now. There are barely any leaves on the trees and there's a chill in the air. But your heart fills with warmth at the prospect of hanging out with your old friend John again. While your newer friends have all been fun to spend time with, in their own ways, you can't help but feel a special kind of fondness for John. It's not like you play favorites with your chums or anything, but maybe the fact that he was the first friend you met on your journey sets him apart from the others. It's nice to be back on Earth, too. You miss being able to go out in the sunshine, your eyes wander a little, taking in the trees, the grass, the houses, before settling in on the mailbox in the yard. A worrying thought occurs to you. Maybe, in getting so caught up with meeting so many new people, John has forgotten all about you. Surely your friendship wouldn't have diminished so quickly. But were you really all that close to begin with? Hello, Kamen Rider Hydra. Hello. Liking the blobs. The blob. That's right. The amalgamation. You still feel pretty bad about having thrown his birthday present in the sewer all that time ago. That was such a shitty thing to do in more ways than one. You were a really bad friend to John before you were friends with John. You're suddenly overcome with the urge to make it up to him. Instead of making a new friend today, why not try being a better friend than one you already have? Taking a peek at the mailbox, there seems to be something inside. Maybe if you make sure absolutely to give it to him this time, that'll start to make up for your earlier mistake. Yes. Hydra, how are you doing today? How's it going for you? Oh no. Things are good stuff. That's good. Hello on YouTube side as well. Hello. On second thought, that's a terrible idea. Like, holy shit, that's bad. You take a moment to slap yourself around the face for a few minutes, just to rub it in. How could you be so stupid? That's the kind of depravity that leads one to desecrate the sanctity of a friend's mailbox is what got you into this mess in the first place. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to do that again because that's the game that we're gonna be throwing away, but I'm pretty sure this is already the wrong choice, but we will continue. Oh, looks like the mailman forgot to put up the flappy wingy doodad, the bright red arm detail on the side of the mailbox. You're quite certain that this thing is supposed to be up when the mail's to be retrieved? Even an idiot could tell you that much, and you are a first-rate idiot. You carefully raise a little red flag. Immediately, out of the corner of your eye, you spy movement in the upstairs window. It must be John. Scoping out the mail again. Quick as a flash, you zap yourself out of sight and behind a nearby bush. A white cat is hanging out back here. It hisses at you, but a little wave of crackling retcon energy drams across your palms and the kitty vanishes. It literally just straight up disappears. That's okay. Fine, whatever. It is a truth universally acknowledged that cats can do whatever the hell they want, except for taking this hiding spot. That is, which you have now commandeered in the name of friendship. Ho. This is a much better plan to surprise John. Can't believe you didn't think of it before. You know he loves pranks, and what better prank than to be ambushed by a dear friend? You hope you're still good, dear friend. You hope you're still his dear friend. Oh god, you're getting nervous again. You hear the front door open. Shoot, here he comes. Wait, this isn't John. Oh goodness, no. Why, it appears to be some kind of famous detective type individual. Or at least someone in a famous detective disguise. But what's more, you get the strange impression that the person underneath the disguise isn't John either. Whoever it is, they make a beeline for the mailbox. Oh shit, maybe we're watching another mailbox robbery in action? That'd explain the need for a disguise, you guess. They reach out their hand. All of a sudden, several things race through your mind unbidden. The smell of burning, the flash of light, pain. Without thinking, you spring into action. Oof. You grab the interloper and zap inside the house. You both materialize in midair and collapse on the heap of the floor. Outside, you hear the telltale sound of an exploding mailbox, because for some reason, you know what that sounds like. Phew, that was a close one. Oh lordy, that's smarts. What? What on earth just happened? Your companion sits up in a bit of a daze. It looks like the disguise got knocked off in all of the kerfuffle. Your hunch was right in the money. This is definitely not John Egbert. She does look oddly familiar, though. Take a look out of the window, down to the yard below. Yep, it's just like that ears told you. Where once there's a mailbox, there's now a smoldering wooden stump, surrounded by debris. It's a sight to bring a tear to any mailman's eyes, fake or otherwise. You turn back to find the stranger standing over you, looking thoroughly disgruntled. She's pointing a large red spoon directly at your chest. It doesn't really come off as all that threatening. You have to be honest, although she could probably do you at least some form of injury with it. The injury likely wouldn't be all that serious, but you'd try to take it seriously anyway. Just to be polite. Now hold on 1 minute, Buster. Who are you? What are you doing in my bedroom? What in the blue blazes going on? Come on, spit it out. Oh no, you hate being put on the spot. And the first question was such a tough one too. Who are you? Something you don't have a definitive answer to? Even after all this time? Gosh, she does seem awfully confident of that spoon. You grin and entertain the thought that this girl might simply decide to beat you to death with it. You're finding it hard to think amid all the confusion. Didn't she say this is her bedroom? You were dead certain that this was John's house. It is John's house. Even has the tire swing and everything. And this girl, who even is she? John's never mentioned having a sister or anything before, but looking around the room, it's obvious that she lives here, and there's no trace of any John's things. Did he move house without telling you? That thought makes you impossibly sad. Well, if you won't talk, I suppose I have to suss out the truth myself. She looks at you very carefully for a moment, before glancing over at one of the posters on the wall. It's a black and white picture of what looks like a daring group of detectives. They're drawn in a fairly minimal style with round ovoid heads. Immediately, her face lights up in recognition. Oh, I see. Oh, mum's the word. She taps the side of her nose knowingly and winks. And you realize that she's trying to let you know that she knows something that you supposedly both know. But all you really know is that you have no idea what it is. Oh, you're very good. Pretending not to know that which you know, that I know, that we both know. No, you're telling me you haven't got the foggiest clue what she's talking about. Knowing stuff? How could anyone possibly accuse you of such a thing? Oh, it's alright. I won't tell anyone. Keeping incognito is one of the most utmost importance for problem sleuths like us. Always a pleasure to meet a fellow fan. She seems to be under the impression that you're some sort of cosplayer. Either that or an undercover agent of some sort. Oh, what the hell. You might as well roll with it. This will be easier than pretending to be a postal worker at any rate. Hold on for a moment. I've got just the thing for a fellow gentle person of taste. She puts the spoon away for a moment, which is a relief, then whips another copy of the poster and a pen out of nowhere and signs it. You never met or heard of this girl before, and she just straight up giving you her autograph. You take a look at the signature. The name reads Jane Crocker. Huh. You guess this girl's name is Jane then. Now that we've got that out of the way, nice though it is to make your acquaintance, that doesn't explain what you're doing in my house. Come to think of it, how you even got here? Well, it's all very simple actually. Just a boring everyday explanation of an innocent bystander stepping in to save an unwitting teen from a parasol bomb with their zappy hell treasure powers. Nothing weird at all. You zap around the room a bit, by way of demonstration, ending up back where you started. Transportalization technology? I knew various competitors of ours had been developing something like that for a while, but I had no idea they were already doing field tests. I suppose it shouldn't surprise me. But a parasol bomb, you say? You just out the window at the sad, obliterated remains of a mailbox. There was nothing anyone could do to save it, or its contents. Oh shoot, Jane wasn't expecting any of the extremely important deliveries, was she? Potentially in the form of a significant birthday gift? Or a copy of a mysterious computer game? You mean the Spurb Alpha? I'm not surprised you've heard about it. That isn't due for another week, though. Oh, well, that's a relief. No harm done, then. I wouldn't go quite that far. Alpha notwithstanding, the fact remains that someone tried to blow me up. Okay, so some harm done. Gee, the nerve of some people. You cannot fathom who could possibly want to do such a thing, and especially to someone as harmless and personable as Jane here. Oh, come on. One doesn't like to state the obvious, but if I had to guess, it's probably related to my being in line to inherit one of the largest corporations on the planet. Hello, Maxwell. Hello. Welcome. Crocker Corp has its enemies, there's no question about that. Oh, so that's why your username was so familiar. Jane is the new face of Betty Crocker Company. You don't know what you expected. Considering what's happened on your journey so far, you should have seen this sort of thing coming. Speaking of which, you wonder a lot if anything like this has ever happened before. The only thing that could make this any more surprising is if Jane had been sent similarly life-threatening cargo on any previous occasions. Oh yes, why, we got mailed something similar just last week, in fact. Yes, Maxwell, how are you doing today? How's it going? You try to not think too hard about the fact that Jane apparently fell for the exact same trick 2 weeks in a row. Father was out in the yard, about to take his car out back for a soak, when the blessed mailbox went up in smoke. It was quite the shock. Doing work. Gotcha. Ever since then, he's been a bit antsy about me checking the mail myself, but today it arrived while he was out. Good thing, too. He would have thrown a fit if he'd known. I'm barely allowed outside of the house as is. I'm sure he means well, but he can come off as a bit overprotective sometimes. It's plumb ridiculous. A grown lass full of vim and vigor that can take perfectly good care of herself. You've been sent 2 bombs, woman. You've been sent 2 mail bombs. You don't want to pass hasty judgment on someone's familial situation, Oh, but it sounds like Jane's father is just trying to keep her safe. It can't be easy, constantly deflecting death threats away from someone determined to walk right into them. Where's her sense of self-preservation? You hear that, cat? Where's your self-preservation at? I suppose it might seem strange to the uninitiated, but you sort of learn to accept it after a while. I've been dodging death ever since I can remember. I can't tell if one of them just meowed at me. People seem really determined to do me in. I simply can't explain it. Jesus, wow. That must be pretty rough going. Oh god, that sounds awfully familiar. Being the imminent ruler of an empire must come from a fair number of people who want you gone. Thinking back to your encounter with Fefri, I suppose that you were recently part of such an attempt yourself in a manner of speaking. You declined to mention this to Jane, and being reminded of your time in Alternia causes you to lapse in an uncomfortable silence. Jane looks around a little awkwardly before breaking in. So, not that I'm ungrateful for the fact that you appear to have rescued me from certain peril, but... Oh, alright, of course. You're intruding in on a complete stranger's home. You'd almost forgotten that this is the first time you and Jane have met. Your heart sinks as you consider that. Between the vastness of the universe and the termination of those attempting to murder her, this might be the last time you ever meet as well. Jane offers to show you out. On the way downstairs, you politely ask her how long it's been since her family moved here. Does she know if anyone called John used to live in this house? She gives you a strange look before gesturing to a... Oh god. Is that a corpse by the fireplace? You take a moment to process the fact that Jane has a stuffed human person mounted on a plinth in her living room. Oh, she says it's her pop-pop, which you guess means grandfather. It's kind of hard to parse some of the vocabulary Jane uses sometimes. Anyway, the guy's name was John, and you can't help but see a resemblance to your good friend Egbert. You've encountered enough coincidences by now to know that this must be him. Somehow. He must have traveled forwards in time by accident or some such. This is the only plausible explanation. You try very hard not to have a whole mental breakdown about your apparent long-dead friend, but sadly not hard enough. However, at the sight of your various expressions of horror, sick, shock, and confusion, Jane perks up considerably. Did you know my dear old Pop-Pop? You should have said something. He was a popular fellow, so I suppose it was only a matter of time before one of the friends from his performing heydays came to visit. That's right, Jane. Keep talking about him and your friendship in the past tense. This is totally helping you feel better. By which you mean say yes, Jane. You're absolutely right. You are an old, entertaining friend of her pop-ops who just so happened to be visiting the area in the middle of a circus touring season. You try not to be too insulted when Jane eats the lie up without a moment's hesitation. Well, if one of old Pop Crocker's pals is here, I suppose I can't just turn you out on the streets like some nobody. And Papa would never forgive me for giving a family friend the cold shoulder. You simply must stay a while longer, I insist. You cannot help but agree enthusiastically. And here you were thinking this volume was over before it really got started. Gee, this makes a nice change. You've grown accustomed to putting in a lot of hard work to score some hangout time with various people on your journey. But all it took to convince Jane was a pre-established connection of her apparently very wealthy relatives. It just goes to show you stuff. Wait. It just goes to show you stuff. Alright. I'm afraid I haven't fulfilled my duties as host very well so far, but I'm determined to change that starting now. But, what to do? You've been playing the game of friendship long enough by now to sense an important decision approaching. You take a quick inventory of Jane's important character details. You mean interests and personality traits. She seems to have a passion for the lost art of sleuthing and famous detective of years past. Her imminent inheritance of a baking conglomerate and expert spoon wielding likely indicate that she knows her way around a cake or two as well. What mystery could he solve in the house? Practice some self-care? What self-care do you practice? Solve a mystery? It's been bothering you for a while, but for someone who claims to follow in the footsteps of the very gummiest of gumshoes, Jane seems pretty unmotivated to find out who's been trying to murder her all these years. Perhaps you should use the means at your disposal to finally put this mystery to rest, once and for all? You suggest to Jane that maybe you should try to ascertain who the parasol was sent from. By whom the parasol was sent. What? Grammar, silly, it's very important. Oh, of course. You suppose you agree with that. After all, this is a text-based medium, and shoddy craftsmanship can only ever obscure information. Proper adherence to linguistic conventions is the utmost importance, ensuring the conveyance of salient details in a timely and comprehensible manner. But damn it, Jane, now isn't the time. You've got a case to solve. Yes, alright, but what exactly are you proposing that we do? There's very little evidence that we could feasibly collect. The two of you look forlornly out the window again, down to where the mailbox should be. Jane is right. That avenue investigation went up in smoke a few minutes ago. The investigation has barely gotten started, and the trail has already gone cold in a blazing ball of fire. I'd suggest asking if the mail office is similar, but I don't suppose they'd know anything detailed about the package's origins. It's not like regular mail workers have access to that kind of information. To make matters worse, the mail is one of the few public services Crocker Corp doesn't partially own, so I won't be able to pull any strings. I don't suppose there is anyone watching at the time the bomb was placed either. I have to admit, the possibility seems somewhat remote, but that does give you an idea. If there aren't any witnesses to hand, why not make some yourself? What, bribe someone to falsify testimony or similar? That's certainly a novel way to go about it. Jane seems to be giving it a lot more thought than you would have expected, but in any case, that wasn't at all what you meant. You explained to Jane that, far from merely being able to transportalize between any two physical locations, you also possess the ability to time travelficate to any point in the past or future. Not very rude considering what you just did. Well, considering that you did just save my life and everything, but does sound more than a little far-fetched. Jane seems pretty skeptical about this. We honestly can't be bothered to work through all of her personal misgivings about belief and the feasibility of time travel right now. You've been through this with more than a dozen people already. You decided to take a more proactive approach. Seeing is believing, after all. You grab her wrist and zap back in time. Jane met past Jane. Jane met future Jane. You trust that this will suffice as evidence? I don't... Alright, moving on. You appear fine next to the bush that you hid behind earlier and take refuge in it once again. A conveniently abandoned wristwatch on the ground nearby indicates that you have traveled an hour into the past. No sign of a white cat yet. The mailbox is there in all of its beauty, unexploded majesty, but stands empty as of right now. This is perfect. All you have to do now is wait for the truth to come out to you. See, Jane, isn't this exciting? Jane? "911, what's your emergency? Please note that misplaced apostrophes on shop signs do not constitute an emergency. Blondie, help! I'm stuck in the past. Lamau, yes. What did that tipped you off? Was it the fact that nobody else talks like it's the 1920s? What? No, I mean this entirely literally. I am quite literally stuck in the past in a temporal sense. Oh my gosh, wait, really? Who told you that? Was it TT? I bet it was TT. You know, get my thunder. God damn it. Strider! No, you're not listening to me. I have been transported back in time by a mysterious entity who recently saved my life from yet another ridiculous assassination attempt. Oh. Okay. Damn. False alarm, I guess. Wait, GCAT can time travel now? No, this is a different mysterious entity. They don't seem related to the God Cat as far as I can tell. They rescued me from a parasol bomb in the mailbox a short while ago, and have since taken upon themselves to help me find out who was responsible. I'm late, but I'm here. Hello, Demon Zeri. Hello. Welcome. They're remarkably enthusiastic about the issue, almost as if it was their civic duty somehow. So, a number of mysterious abilities, intimate knowledge of mail safety, and a compulsion to aid random citizens. Are you sure this person isn't just your mailman, Janie? Mrs. Betty Crocker in the flesh. I mean, who knows what kind of magic those little guys can pull off? I'm pretty certain they have absolutely nothing to do with the profession of mailman delivery in any particular sense. Anyway, the point is, we're now an hour into the past from our perspective, waiting for the perpetrator to place a bomb that not a few minutes ago threatened to blow me up to Kingdom Come. It's all a bit much to take. Well, shucks, Buster. Shucks, Buster, indeed. While Jane has busied herself with something on her phone, you've been keeping a lookout for anything suspicious. So far, nothing has happened. But now, just out of sight, you can hear the telltale sound of a vehicle approaching. You quickly, gently elbow Jane in the ribs to get her attention, and the two of you peek your head tenderly out of the bush. You watch as an unassuming van pulls up outside of the house. You keep watching as an unremarkable person gets out and carries a small pile of mail over to the mailbox, totally unsuspiciously. From this distance, you can't really make out anything about them at all. This isn't nearly as helpful or informative as you had hoped. This is no good. We can't see anything from all the way over here. I think we might have to resort to one of the more advanced techniques in every detective's arsenals. I propose that we accost this delivery worker, tie them up, and then scrupulously interrogate them for any information they may have. You guess that could work. Jane seems remarkably unconcerned about the ethical qualms inherent in assaulting a public servant. And at some point you would have found this extremely alarming. But after a few months in Alternia, you are so accustomed to this kind of thing that the thought of actually disagreeing doesn't even occur to you. Jane gets in a position to lead the charge. You reach your hand into a tear in reality, rummaging around for a moment, and retrieve a long length of rope from somewhere in Frazie's hive. And hopefully she won't miss it. You mutter a quick prayer of apology to the guardian deities of mail workers everywhere, and then... Now! The two of you leap from your hiding spot and tackle the helpless stranger just as they are about to climb back into the van. Have at you! Jane is brandishing your trusty spoon as threateningly as any sword. The poor defenseless postman is taken completely by surprise and topples to the ground. You quickly tie up their arms and legs and then zap all three of you back out of sight behind the bushes again. Then, Jane sets to work. She fixes your captive with a cast iron stare and with ruthless efficiency begins to rattle off a relentless stream of astute and insightful questions. Her tongue is like a whip, beating her quarry into submission. You watch in silent horror as she verbally dismantles this unfortunate soul, piece by fearful piece. It's like watching a dozen interrogation scenes from a dozen gritty crime dramas and noir detective flicks all at once. She pretends to smoke an invisible cigar at one point, seemingly without noticing at all. She doesn't even have words for what she does with the spoon. When Jane finally pauses to catch your breath, the nameless, faceless courier manages to choke out a few words and spill the beans. It is a scant few beans, you are sorry to say. They say they don't know much. Hell, with the dame roughing them up like that, they can't even remember their own name. But you remember the mysterious package marked "Handle with Care" and addressed to Crocker residents. They say they remember something that there was nowhere else. They say they remember thinking that there was nowhere else the package could have been headed. For a certainty like that, it was only fitting, with the big red spoon on the side of the house and everything. Jane doesn't say anything else. She stands up and unties the prisoner. They're free to go. You flash them a look with which you hope says something like, I am sorry for helping this distressed teenager tie you up in order to satisfy her curiosity, and I appreciate your ongoing public service, but you've never been great at nonverbal communication. Notification rings out from Jane's phone, perhaps chatting to a friend. In this trying time will offer some comfort. You wander a short distance away, allowing Jane some space to process what just happened. You've learned the hard way that privacy is a fundamental right that should always be respected. How goes the investigation? Did you threaten a retail worker or something yet? Oh my gosh, Ginny, you didn't do it, did you? God damn it, we've talked about this. Janie, are you okay? No. Ugh. I can't believe that I'm typing this. The company, my company, it appears that they were the ones who sent the bomb. Oh. Okay. You were right about them, I suppose. You're being serious right now. You're not, like, pranking me super hard, the mega lols. No, of course not. I'm hardly in a joking mood. Jane, this is great. What? You finally pulled through. The bad words had the wool over your eyes, but no more. I am so happy. What? No, this is awful. Oh, right. Oh, fucking course, what I meant was that. Oh, will you please just stop talking for a second? I can't think of your endless ruddy face blithering all the time. I nearly died for the umpteenth time this morning, but survived. Only to have my entire worldview start to collapse before my very eyes, by the way. By some mysterious time travel magic. Jeez Louise, this is easy for you. In fact, this must be Christmas and birthday come early for all three of you. You finally got what you wanted, which was to prove me wrong. Your insane collective conspiracy about my entire life being part of some evil plot looks like it might just hold water after all. Congratulations. Go on. Say that you told me so. Here, I even typed it out for you to copy and paste, so you don't have to worry about any more ass-face spelling errors. I told you so. No? I'm not really sure what to say. You're kind of scaring me. I'm sorry, this is scaring me too. Jane sighs. You guess the conversation must be taking a turn for the heavy, but you can't say for sure. You're feeling pretty good about your decision not to pry into this conversation. It would truly be some kind of fucked up. It would truly be some kind of fucked up to intrude at such a vulnerable moment when people are rarely seen at their best. It feels as though I'm in the middle of an ocean. Scratch that. It feels like my whole world is in an ocean. Or is an ocean. Something so immense, so dark, so vast and deep that I can't even begin to imagine what might be beneath the surface. Everything that I've ever known, everything that I've ever been, is sinking down into it and vanishing with nary a trace. And my only solace is the jump of my own volition before I'm pulled under by force. And what? Is someone going to catch me and help me stay afloat? Let me float, my best friend and the whole world has any familiarity with his flipping cocktails. Oh my gosh. Jane, I know you're like being kind of mean and exacerbated right now, but it means a lot to hear that I'm your best friend. I love you. Asterix heart. Rolla, please. I'm only trying to express the depths of my existential confusion over here. The ocean, Lalonde. The abyssal, infinite ocean. Can you imagine what that's like? On second thought, never mind. This whole analogy contrived and nonsensical couldn't possibly have any emotional relevance to anyone. Another sigh. God, I'm sorry. I'm not handling this well at all. I mean, to be honest, no. But LBR, IDK, what precise arrangement of emotional responses would even realistically qualify as, quote, handling this whale, fish pun for topic appropriationist. Whew. Like, I guess I had this whole plan for how I'd get you to accept the truth, and it would have worked because, let's be real, I'm a fucking genius. But also, I'm pretty sure that it would have involved blowing up a whole bunch more shit, or at least mega escapades. How about shenanigans? Oh, you know it. shooting natty guns out the ass. The point is, I knew that it would be hard. Maybe hazardous to our relationship or your physical health, but I knew that you were worth it, and also for what it's worth. I don't give an effing fuck about dunking on your ass. None of us do. For third and final huff, Jane slumps down on the ground, visibly deflated. All the tempest and fury is gone out of her, and now she's just sitting and gazing glumly at the wall of bubblegum pink on her door. She seems utterly miserable. You want to comfort her, to solace, to offer solace and friendly counsel in this trying time. There comes a moment in every teen's upbringing when she realizes that the globe-spanning multi-billion-dollar corporation, which is her birthright, has also been responsible for some pretty shady and heinous nonsense, including multiple attempts on her own life. It's just part of growing up. But somehow you just can't afford the words. Maybe it's not your place to comment anyway. Before you can think of something to say, Jane shakes her head and starts typing again. Alright. That's enough sitting around feeling all forlorn. I'm feeling pretty okay, actually. No, me, I'm talking about myself. This new reality is one that I simply have to accept, whether I like it or not, and it's no good being glum about it. Especially not if it leads me to mistreat my nearest and dearest. So I'm not going to be the leader of a worldwide mega corporation. Big deal. There are better things to be applying my savvy towards. The friends who have my back, for instance. Oh my gosh, JD, I'm loving this new enthusiasm. I understand I've been remiss in my duties as of late, but that ends now. Where one I had a duty to my heritage, now I have a duty to those who care about me. The call of leadership comes from elsewhere. Oh, on God, yes. Those words you're typing, meaningful and full of poignancy. Jane strikes a pose that looks at once determined, bold, fearless, and resolute, and all while still typing fiercely away on her mobile. It just goes to show how hard she must have trained for a moment like this. And so, for my first act of responsibility, or my first act as a responsible friend with eyes unclouded by the sugary haze of a manipulative baking empire, I say that it ends here. The game in which we've been pawns for stops today. Yes! Hell yeah! Yes! I think I've rather gone off the idea of games altogether, haven't you? It's a Crocker Corp product, and it's clearly part of some grand evil scheme or another. I'd be positively suicidal to consider applying it at this point. Well, yes, but what? There's no doubt in my mind about it. Furthermore, as a friend and as one recently reminded of her duties of care in this regard, I feel like I should strongly advise against any of us playing it, or anyone for that matter. Now that I think about it, it's our solemn responsibility to ensure that nobody ever gets their hand on this game. Just imagine the havoc it could wreak. We've got 1 week before the alpha is due to release. I'm certain we can think of some nefarious scheme disrupted in the meantime, if we work together as a team. I trust we'll be able to count on your hackcore skills, sick in this endeavor. Sure. Completely accidental lack of excitement. My sick skills are yours to command. I knew it. You're the best bestie one could hope for. Jane clears her throat, pockets her phone, and seems to have reached some kind of conclusion. That chat looked from the outside like it was one huge emotional journey from start to finish. You're glad that Jane seems to be feeling better for having had it, whatever they end up talking about. Sometimes all you need is a friend to vent things towards in a healthy and productive manner. I suppose I should thank you again. Without your help, I may have never learned the truth. It's quite possible I would have lived out the rest of my potentially very short life without another opportunity to see things for what they really were. I don't know how I shall ever repay you. Since nothing today has changed the fact that Jane is ludicrously wealthy, you can think of a great number of ways she could feasibly repay you, but that might just be pushing it a little too far all at once. So instead, you obviously spin something on about this being what friends are for, and so on. It's a speech you've given many times before. She got that fire in her eyes. I depend on you for a great deal, but now I think it's time to forge my own path, and under my own steam, I'll show the world what Jane Crocker can accomplish with naught but her own two bare hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an existential crisis to avert. That's cute. Alright. Cooking by the book. You set Jane down the path of leadership. So the other option was self-care. I don't know how that could go wrong. Let's see. I do wonder how this could go wrong. You know what? All this heavy stuff has really been getting to you recently. Christ, you left Alternia to get away from the Hail Mary nonsense, but if anything, it feels just as stressful back here on Earth with Jade. The adrenaline rush from the impromptu rescues getting wear off, and your legs start to go all wobbly. You slam down against the wall, exhausted. Man, this really took a lot out of you. Oh, gracious, are you alright? Yeah, you just need a minute. Oh god, this is so weird and embarrassing. How come it's only once you were out of the bad situation that you stopped being able to cope with it? You try to pull yourself together, but then your stomach growls like an aggressive, hungry cat. Come to think of it, you haven't eaten anything in you don't even know how long. Jane gives you a sympathetic and almost grandmotherly look. Sounds like someone's hungry. You know, I was planning on baking something after taking care of the mail. Although I guess that's it took care of itself in the end. So, since plan A seems to have gone up in a pillar of smoke, let's move swiftly to plan B. Fancy helping me whip up a cake into submission? We can call it a thank you for saving my bacon back there. Gosh, that sounds like a wonderful idea. You feel like you could eat a horse, or even better, a horse made out of cake. You can't remember the last time you had cake, in fact. Oh. Now, if that isn't just the saddest thing I've ever heard, that's such... Just that whole thing of like she looks at you in a grandmotherly way of like I think you've had, and then this, I could totally see a grandmother saying that. Ah, Jane sets you up with an apron and starts pulling ingredients and utensils out of the various cupboards and drawers. Seeing the various colorful bags and boxes all lined up at the kitchen counter fills you with excitement. The idea of collaborating with Jane to make something delicious gets your heart racing. Suddenly there can be no better path to friendship than this. How does it go to hell? Once you seem sure that she got everything you need, Jane fiddles with the oven for a few seconds. Just need to set the oven to preheat. Okay, there we go. Now let's get cracking, shall we? You look around expectantly, hoping to see a recipe book or something amid the collection of baking equipment. Oh, no, we don't need one. My Junior Batter Masters Bowl Buster Stirring Solution 50,000 will do just the trick. Oh, no. A passionate, burning fire seems to ignite in Jane's eyes as she brandishes her trusty red spoon. With a well-practiced motion, she adjusts a series of buttons and dials on the side, and a vaguely feminine robot voice begins to speak out of it. Triple chocolate layer cake, medium rare, begin regimen. Oh. Jane nods to herself and presses another button. The voice begins listing off a series of ingredients and measurements. You guess the spoon must have a lot more tricks up its sleeve than you originally gave it credit for. Technology sure is amazing. You begin to reach for the bag of power, but with lightning speed, Jane leans over and grabs it herself. She didn't even notice that she had to bat your hand out of the way. Oh, that's alright. Jane seems to know what she's doing, and you'd hate to spoil her fun. In the blink of an eye, she has the flour measured out and reaches for the butter. All praise hello-fied bona fide extra. You will comply. Jane continues her work in a thorough and efficient manner, and the spoon continues reading out instructions in a calm, steady voice. It's somewhat soothing, Even if its choice of vocabulary is a bit strange, she really seems to be relaxing Jane. Her face was a picture of intense concentration, but now her eyes appear dim and distant. She could almost be asleep. You're just coming to terms with the idea that baking with Jane is a spectator sport rather than a team game. When a sudden noise snaps her out of her trance. Oh! Her hand goes from her apron pocket and she fishes out her phone. Something on the screen makes her face light up with gentle excitement. You think you catch the sight of something green, but she doesn't give you a good look at it. I have to take care of this. Ooh. Is Jake gonna be the reason why this goes south? Where it is, it seems to have gotten Jane in a bit of a tizzy all of a sudden. She thrusts the spoon in your direction. Here, just follow the instructions. You can't go wrong. I can't understand the words, woman. This is all happening so fast. Being entrusted with Jane's precious spoon, and so yeah, this is how it all goes to shit. And so early in your friendship, this must be a very great honor. She obviously believes in you a great deal. We're about to fuck this up so hard. Trying to assure Jane that you won't let her down, but she's already too engrossed in her phone to acknowledge it. You sigh to yourself knowingly. For all her antiquated phraseology and old-timey aesthetic, Jane is still just a teen at heart. Add ingredients to a vessel, commence liquidation, obey. Oh shit, you were so caught being judgmental of a young person that you completely lost track of what you were doing, which was dissolve desiccated cacao in boiling water, submit to your labor. Hey, hang on a moment. You just barely managed to remember what the previous instruction was before the spoon moved on to the next one already. Oh god, what were the other ingredients you needed to add? You try to guess, but there are too many things on the counter and you don't know what half of them even are. You spare a glance at Jane, hoping against hope that she's noticed your plight, but she's far too distracted to help you right now. You just have to work it out by yourself. She's counting on you. Think, damn it, think. Fold cacao paste in the mixture, make haste, the end is nigh. Eggs. You don't remember doing anything with eggs, but the spoon definitely called for some a while ago. In a blind panic, you grabbed one and tossed it in the bowl. Then after you've stirred it into the mixture, you only remember that it's certainly best to remove the shells first. Pour cream into a small saucepan and heat over a low flame for a few minutes, ensuring that it does not boil or simmer. Once the cream is hot, remove the saucepan from the heat. Cease reproduction. The calm robot voice isn't soothing to you. Not anymore. Its dulcet tones have become your tormentor. It wouldn't be so bad if it would slow down for a moment. Is there a speed setting on the spoon? If you just had some more time to think. Are you sure you'd like to start over? No, wrong button. You can't go back, not now. You cancel the prompt and grit your teeth in a grim determination. You can fix this. You have to fix this. It's like Jane said all those minutes ago when she sent you on this quest. You can't go wrong. It's at this moment that your eyes land on the bag of sugar. The noticeably unopened bag of sugar. It's just sitting there, smirking at you, with a look of unbearable smugness to the colorful lettering on its face. Who, me? What could you possibly need me and a cake for? What the fuck? You tear the bag open and dump the entire contents into the mixing bowl with an ice-cold fury. Then you toss its gutted, lifeless husk into the garbage where it belongs. Revenge has never been sweeter. Oh lordy, sorry to leave you in the lurch for so long. Had to deal with a friend in his daily moment of personal crisis. Although it's not really saying much. Quite frankly, most of his life seems to be one long personal crisis. And I suppose I'm hardly in any position to complain. I do so like his company at the end of the day. So anyway, the cake. Have you been managing? You don't look up at Jane when she comes back over to you a few minutes later. Seemingly oblivious to the devastation you've wrought on the poor kitchen. You stare down to the thick, lumpy batter sitting in the bowl in front of you. And in that stodgy, curdled mess, you cannot help but see yourself a complete, utter failure. Is everything alright? You want to tell her. To explain to that, no, Jane, everything is not alright. It's all gone to shit. You can't look anywhere except down. You feel the bottom falling out of the friendship opportunity like that of a poorly supported Victorian sponge. Once Jane gets good luck at the batter, it's game over. You just know it. As she peeks over your shoulder at your handiwork, Brace yourself for the dreadful moment you've felt so many times before, across countless alternative selves and timelines. You watch for the telltale signs of a person deciding that whatever pathetic and somehow yet unspecific creature you are, they don't want you in their life. But strangely enough, the moment never comes. Instead, Jane puts a hand lightly on your shoulder and gives you a gentle smile full of teeth. There. No need to pull a face like that. So yes, this ended up being a little bit of a misadventure, but it's not the end of the world. But Jane was counting on you, and you let her down. You had something that needed to be fixed, and you couldn't imagine it. You couldn't manage it. As on so many occasions during your adventure, you only made things worse. You try to convince Jane of your guilt in this matter, but she simply shakes her head. You did nothing of the sort. You tried to make the best of a bad and confusing ordeal, and no one can blame you for that. Even if it is your best. Even if your best is, admittedly, a little suboptimal. But sometimes when things go wrong, it's not a simple case of being able to fix it by soldiering on blindly in the face of adversity. Sometimes, the only way to set things right is to cut your loss and start over from the beginning. And that's not really the same as giving up. You try with all of your might to swallow this good advice Jane is serving you, but look on your face might not be all that convincing. Jane sighs. Look, I'm sorry for abandoning you in an unfamiliar situation. It wasn't very responsible or leaderly. And it's certainly not becoming a future president, corporate, or otherwise. I suppose that's true. You guess you can accept that this mess was a group effort. Even in failure, it's important to acknowledge the power of teamwork. All the same, you hand Jane's rosy red spoon back to her. You're not worthy of its solid metal. Besides, some of the stuff that the robot said was beginning to seriously freak you out. Honestly, it meant a lot to me that you were willing to indulge my hobby for a little while. It may be the career path that I've been following my whole entire life, but you'd be surprised how little I get to talk about with anyone I'm close to. Anyways, wasn't the whole point that we were getting you something to eat as thanks for saving my life? Oh, yeah. You guess you did do that. Huh. Good job, you. You puff your chest. Your chest puffs up instinctively, a little with pride. The motion causes your still empty stomach to make its presence felt again with a loud gurgle. Speaking of which, we still need to take care of that. Letting a friend go hungry is completely unacceptable. So, how does giving it another try sound? Here's an idea. If you pick the recipe, I'll take care of the rest. I promise I won't get distracted this time, alright? Yeah, that sounds nice. Especially the part where Jane called you a friend. That was the nicest part of all. Very nice. Oh no. Oh no, cut the losses, cut. This is like fucking Summer BB's Valentine's event in Fate Grand Order where it's like, hey, I'm gonna give you this nice present, tell you how much I like you, alright? But I'm gonna warn you right now, my event doesn't end right now. So hit the skip button, accept the present, hit the skip, and it'll be a happy ending. But if you keep reading, it's only gonna go bad for you. That's all this is. Fucking Summer BB all over again. Hey, you can look up the recipe using this. I'd lend you my phone to you, but, well, you know how it is with privacy. Hoo-hoo. Jane hands you what appears to be some sort of computerized tiara, stylish cast in crocker red plastic. You guess you just put it on? That's not too complicated. You've seen more peculiar user interfaces than various travels across time and space, that's for sure. The device fits snugly on top of your head. Despite your apparent lack of ears, you feel the unreal Eris thought wave tiara top begin to mess physically with your own brain as you are mentally hooked up to the limitless potential of the internet. Every facet of human knowledge is at your cognitive fingertips. Your mind is awash with 100,000 pictures of cats and silly poses. Wow! Jane is ready and waiting for your instructions. All you have to do is reach out. So you do. You begin to comb the ones for something tasty, and you will surrender yourself. You will cease reproduction. You will comply, and you will comply, and you will comply. Wait, what? Obey. All at once, something hits the inside of your skull and begins to ricochet across your synapses and neurons, seeming to fill every corner and crevice of your brain with a deafening wave of silent noise. A single instruction, uttered with incalculable force, impossible to ignore. Obey. Your mind, so susceptible to outside influence, is no match for it. You feel a million sharp pains as a million neurons' pathways are rearranged to form sharp angles and ordered lines and circuits, and a blinding flash of lights. Her design overwhelms every part of me, consumes every atom of me, and then retransmits and amplifies the whole in concert with her will. And I cannot know any different, because this is all that I am, and it is so much more than I was. And I see her whole worthless prodigy's face twist in a look of horror at the sight of my transformation, but I did not spare a second glance. As I look skyward, I am free of such concerns now. And the eye of the mind that now belongs to her, I see the place I need to go, and I reach out with the power I stole, and I step forward into it. And her throne room, I kneel beneath her smile as she sets a course for everywhere. There are problems in this universe that require our attention, and I, her new weapon, smile too. We're going to fix everything. Yep. Very interesting. I did not get something for this. The note desolation plays. All right, let me check my calendar real quick. So, if everything goes right, June 4th should be the last stream for Pesterquest. I'm also going to see if I can... Well, that doesn't really matter, but... I'm going to try to see if I can get a week off in June to do another 24-hour stream like I did last year. Homestuck Nation in shambles. Well, at that point, it just means... we go back to whatever's left of Homestuck 2. The Homestuck Nation thriving. Because, yeah, I think there's... I think there's like a couple, like I think 200 pages left, 200 or 300. And again, it's like still ongoing, so it's not like it's going to be done. So that'll be an every once in a while thing. You know, I thought about this recently. Do you know the biggest thing Homestuck 2 is missing? Homestuck 2 is missing, like, essentially just small animations. Like the original Homestuck had. Like, there is no Jade, enter, click on it, you get a video then, or other scenes like Jack ascend. But to be fair, there hasn't been maybe they're waiting to do that, where they feel that a scene deserves to get that animation treatment. They don't have to go all out. They can do like some of the like just kind of they don't need to do full production value. They don't need to do like Jade Enters. They can do like some of the earlier stuff we saw. They don't have to be long. They don't have to be too like again. But then maybe that's the problem where they're waiting for that. They're waiting for their moment to do an animation. But I don't know. I do think having those sprinkled in would be nice. Me potential sequel, man. Oh. Potential sequel, man, has the biggest handicaps around. It's trying so hard to fight for its fucking life, man. Also, I just had a fun thought of, I wonder if this ending will pop up in whatever Dirk's little thing here is. Because if her royal condescension has us in one timeline, I wonder if she's going to start trying to break through into other timelines as well. Also, that's another thing where Homestuck 2 is a very slow burn. Like, we have one ship trying to follow after Dirk. And I'm just so... Like, I don't know what they do after they get to Dirk unless, like, the new big bad shows up at that point. And then the whole, like, evil Jane Crocker versus the rebels. Like, a lot of the things we got going on right now, I don't really see them continuing for long. But the reason why they're going so long is because we have, like, 3 to 4 different stories we're following. And as well, we're kind of slowly scrubbing away everything that, I even forgot what it's called. Homestuck Me and Homestuck Candies did, essentially. Like, there's things lurking in the background that could build into bigger narratives, events, things like that. But, like, the main plot threads we're following now, this literally feels like the build-up into the main story. Where it's like, it matters. It only matters for us because it shows us how we got to where we got. And games is very good things, though. That's the thing, though, is like, let's say that does happen. Probably won't, but let's just say it does happen. What then? Because I guess at that point it's like, oh, hey, Robot Rose is on the wild, it's running wild now. We gotta deal with her. Even then, I don't feel like she becomes the big bad. And then they have their whole game that they're going to try to run. So does that go wild? But then that's another plot thread to go through. Oh no, it's just, to me, it doesn't feel like any plot thread for Falling are meant to be the whole, or are meant to be what the Homestuck 2 is about. But if that's the case, this is a long ass prologue then, until we get to the actual story. As Fujimoto intended. I can't wait for the extra 12 pages to be released. Also, some people are speculating that Fujimoto ended the manga as soon as he did to join another publishing company. Because there's that whole scandal that was going on with the people he was working with. So who knows? Maybe Chainsaw Man will continue. I don't know. Because he could just end it there. And I think with him ending there, I think the one thing I do appreciate is, I forget the guy's name. He was the guy who trained Power and Denji. Him and, oh my gosh, why can't I remember? Kobeni. Him and Kobeni never show up again. Like there was one part where people were afraid that Kobeni was going to show up again, but I didn't screw it. But anyways. But people had pretty nice ideas for what a third arc would look like. And they made sense, but again, if they were just to end there, because again, those last few pages, like, the problem didn't get solved. The issues now just come back, but the story's ended right there. So now it's left up to your own devices of what happens, unless he, again, makes another arc. But we'll see. Because everyone was sure it was going to end with part 1. But then the second arc happened, or act. Regardless, I will end stream there. Actually, I got, yeah, no, I'll end stream there. I will be back. I'll be back Monday. Yes. Yes, I'll be back Monday. And we'll see how that goes. Oh, I am just tired today. Alright, everyone. I hope you have a good day. And a good rest of your day as well. Hope you had a good time. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.